Colton Chaos, fresh off that performance in Tampa. Colton Ellis. We're going to talk with Sabres postgame host, intermission host Brian Koziol here about the Sabres as we head to the break with Pittsburgh on the way tonight and also the Waste Management Open, which gets started today. Joe, did you go to the Waste Management Open, or did you only talk about going?
No, we came close to going, but didn't go, and now I regret it.
It was the year we thought the Bills were going to make the Super Bowl in Arizona. And go. Brian, have you been to the Waste Management?
My mom was still living there, too. And also, Brian, that was before I think they put in some guidelines to make it a little less rowdy. Like, I think the year I was going to go, it was still like a total circus.
I have not gone. I've definitely heard stories. Kevin Sylvester from our Tee to Green group has worked that event and has said that it a few years ago it got like to the peak of circusness, as you said, and then they've checked it in just a little, but the 16th hole every year still continues to kind of evolve into more and more, whether they build it out even bigger or create more kind of special things that are happening in between groups. But I've never been there, but man, it seems like one of those golf bucket list things to do. Maybe the opposite of going to the Masters, but maybe both good in some ways to attend in person.
Yeah. Well, the thing that always blows me away is the stadium hole. They call it the stadium hole, the 16th. It has 20,000 people, like basically a stadium built around a par 3. And think about that, like the arena downtown with a golf hole in it. That's what you get at the 16th there at the Waste Management. So, the scene, of course, on the course, but right there, especially the run to the gates, the run to try to get into a spot and just sit there all day. It's it's incredible, obviously.
It's amazing that you're right. I mean, I think that's a great comparison because it's essentially that same seating. It's almost 20,000 people. Stick a golf hole where the hockey rink is. Yeah. And I love that 99% of the players embrace it because it's unique. Obviously, they are understanding of that it's going to get a lot of attention. And while some players might not love the fact that, it's rowdy or loud or what, I think they realize, hey, this is another layer of what helps us kind of, grow the game and get attention to the tournament this week. So, I think they all understand why this week is kind of a special week. And I think it's also special, too, because if it was every week like this, and that's why I think maybe Liv still hasn't maybe caught on.
I'm watching John Rahm hit golf balls while music plays, and they're trying to turn it into a party.
They try to do it all the time, and I don't think it works all the time. Like literally next week we're going to watch them play at Pebble Beach, and Jim Nance's voice can't go past like decibel 3 out of 10 the whole time, because of the whisper. Like it just obviously you're going from like one extreme to the other, and I think they're both great.
With Brian, with Liv, like as we head into this golf season, we're seeing players leave Liv and come back. That's Brooks Koepka, Patrick Reed. All eyes kind of on John Rahm when his contract's up, and Bryson DeChambeau. And there's thought that who knows what the future holds, but DeChambeau could get an insane number to stay there. And I think it's whatever. I think it's over. I think it's over because what's Bryson going to do? Be the only guy of substance that stays and just kind of live out his life, not competing on the tour, but just playing the majors? I guess you could do that, but I think I'd lose respect for anybody that doesn't want to play on the top tour. Even if you think the way the top tour is designed or run is poor, you could try to make it better. But I think that it's maybe I'm wrong here, Brian. I don't know what you think about it, but I think it's kind of over this little split.
I think it's trending that way. I mean, Koepka leaving, already playing, and even playing this week, played last week. Patrick Reed coming back this August. That's the plan with his contract done. I would think that there's probably 2, and maybe I'll say 3. There's probably 2 or 3 more that if the PGA Tour said, we get these last 2 or 3, it's officially done. And Rahm and Bryson are the 2 that you mentioned. I think they'd love Cam Smith back too. I mean, he was at the peak of his game when he left. But, I mean, he's essentially done nothing on Liv and kind of maybe fallen out of the radar a little bit. But, I mean, Rahm and Bryson are the 2 kingpins left if they end up figuring out ways to get out. I think Rahm, in some ways, regretted it almost instantly. You kind of hear him here and there say things that don't quite sound like he's all on board with everything that maybe Liv is about. And, yeah, I think you're right. Those 2 probably in the end when they leave, I think that's kind of where the experiment ends. They went all in on the team aspect of it. I just don't think that ever caught on. I don't think anybody cares if the Aces or the Spaceballs or whatever, all these teams are called. They said you could buy equity into these teams, and that didn't work. And even the 54-hole shotgun start thing, now they've changed to 72. And Bryson's even said, hey, I didn't sign up for 72. That was supposed to be why I came over here. One of the lures was, but we're playing less golf. So they're trying to get, world ranking points. Yes, the 16th hole this week is going to be amazing to watch. And I think it's cool because I think it's not every single hole every single week. I think when you're trying to be cool all the time, that's probably a bad problem to have, that you're never cool. This week, it's going to be cool at 16, but next week at Pebble Beach, they're not necessarily trying to be cool. The tournament will be great on its own, and I think LIV it never really found its lane to work in here.
Yeah, I feel like this tournament has kind of become, and maybe this is where it fits for being the party tournament, is it's kind of the kickoff to the PGA season for most people.
I would agree. I think, the Hawaii tournaments, are there as the official start, but this is really the big one where people pay attention to it. I think, even, this weekend, there's not going to be any NHL on, even locally for Sabres. People are looking for something to tune into, especially, I'm guessing, watching 18 hours of Super Bowl pregame coverage with the Patriots is not going to be maybe everybody's ideal TV viewing. And I even think it's great. They know, the PGA Tour knows, hey, we bump up the tee times a little. We make sure that the final group is done, 5:45, and then the Super Bowl at 6:30. It kind of works really nicely here. So, I think this is it. The courses itself and the scene this week then you get Pebble Beach, then you get Riviera, then it switches to the Florida swing, and it's, hyping up for the Masters. You get the players in there. This is where it really gets started. Let's hope that the weather around here cooperates, so maybe we can start thinking about getting some swings in too.
Yeah. The golf season being back is great. I was ready for it last week, and then Justin Rose just lapped everybody 3 times, so didn't quite get the drama down the stretch.
Is that what we're expecting, Brian, from Scheffler? Because I was looking at the odds this morning, and he's walking in at plus 200 to win the tournament, and nobody else is within plus 1,700. I know that he's been the best in the world, and there have been expectations on him, but, man, he's that much of a favorite for the first big tournament.
It's amazing. It really is. I mean, it's kind of like when Tiger used to play in his heyday, where it would almost be an even, Tiger was almost like an even bet versus the field. And you'd have this debate. Do you want Tiger or do you want the field? And it legitimately would be almost a coin toss with how often. I mean, if you think about it with Scheffler, if you take the majors away, he won, 7, 8 times last year? I mean, don't quote me on the number. I think it's close to that. He's almost winning 50% of his events. So I think it's probably fair to do that. You would think, in a golf event where there's 144, 154 in the field, that's ridiculous to have a guy be that big of a favorite. But he's just been that dominant. And obviously his one start, he's won already this year. It's not even like we're seeing is there an opening? No, he is continuing to dominate the world, and I think that he will be a story again. I wouldn't be surprised again if he wins 6, 7, 8, 10 times again here this season upcoming. He's just that locked in.
Brian Koziol joining us. A preview of the Waste Management Open golf season underway on the big tour. Meanwhile, Brian, we've got a game tonight, Sabres and Penguins, last game before the break. And I feel like you are someone also that deserves congratulations for a great season because as the intermission and postgame host for so many years, it's all back and it's all been so great. And we got one more chance before the break. It's Olympic send-off night as well to Tage and Erasmus Dahlin, and would be for UPL, but his injury prevents him from going. But I wonder what your big picture view of the Sabres is right now, given that it's been the best stretch in franchise history. They come back from Florida 3 out of 4. We're all flying so high on this experience.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously you said it. This is now season 19 for me, hosting intermissions and pregame and postgame. So the fact that I'm able to I'm engaged in literally every shift it feels so refreshing. It kind of almost feels like a new job because people are caring about the games, and interaction during the game is the power play and that save, and like, hey, oh my God, this is incredible that we're actually talking about like individual things within the game and having so much meaning. The intensity in these games, especially against these Atlantic Division opponents, I mean, they feel like playoff games already. I mean, it's been so long since we've seen them obviously in the playoffs. Like, if these games are this good and this intense here in early February when they're playing Tampa or they're playing Montreal, like I can't wait to see what it maybe would feel like here for game one of an actual first-round playoff game, because it's been so long. Like, we all take in sports differently. We're all much older than the last time that we've watched a playoff game. Some people listening weren't even adults when the last time the Sabres were in the playoffs. So I'm really looking forward and hoping that this holds on so we can get some of that. But, in terms of the standings, like, honestly, the Atlantic Division and even on off nights, like, I'm watching Florida-Boston last night as if, like, this is so meaningful. And, there's still 2 months left in the season, but, man, these games have been so good. The East itself and how good they're playing, it's almost been even a little frustrating, too, in the sense that Buffalo's been so good. I mean, with where they're at right now, the clip they're playing at, they should be so comfortably in a playoff spot. If you look at other seasons, it still feels like it's not 100% like solidified. I know percentages would say they're trending very, very well, but you look, Columbus has now won 7 in a row. And I'm like, geez, they're only 4 out of a playoff spot. Like, Toronto's won 3 in a row. Even these teams that are out of it, it's going to be a great, interesting stretch here. I'm curious of how the Sabres handle this break. You'd think they wouldn't want it for sure, but they still do have some injuries. Benson being hurt's key. Who knows which, every game is Josh Norris going to play? That seems to be a storyline. And Luukkonen too. I think if all 3 of those end up maybe being healthy options for this team 3 weeks from now when they come back again after the Olympics, then, I think all forces go here as they go into the final stretch.
Yep. Big game tonight, Pittsburgh in town. And hopefully the Sabres can close it out with a win and send us off to the break, and people will be, very excited to see them return once the Olympics wrap up. Brian, thank you.
Yep, and a win tonight with points percentage and tiebreakers would officially put them into
second place. Yep.
Yeah.
Where are you guys for Tee to Green? Are you guys getting up and running these days?
So our first live show on site will be the first Saturday in March 7th. We've been doing our podcast every Tuesday, so look for that on our socials at T to G Buffalo. But in March, we'll be at Golf Dojo to start our season, and then off and running at courses all across Western New York.
Very good. All right. Thanks, Brian.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot.
Brian Koziol on the Western Hotline. Sabres pre- and intermission and postgame host, and, of course, host of Tee to Green. Getting close to golf season, kind of. At least we can watch it on TV, and that's it's always good.